this video, I am going to explain on how television is used to influence public opinion during the Gulf War. The first war on TV with the whole world watching it unfold, often live, was the Gulf War. There had never been so many people watching so much news before. Rarely, if ever, has the nation been so involved in a single story. Throughout the day, on the TV there was talk of the vicissitudes of the war, and there had certainly never been so much focused TV coverage of a single case week after week for the duration of the war. Never had the country been subjected to so much misinformation and propaganda and fallen victim to it. For the duration of the Gulf War, Saddam Hussein and the Iraqis by both the Bush administration and the military wherever possible when portraying their own acts. According to Kolko 1991, he states that public sentiment has been being increasingly anti-interventionist since 1969, and that any survey of the RAND Corporation shows that US military action does not have sufficient public support. But after the Gulf War, the nation was primed, at least in part because of media coverage for war, to support Bush interventionist policies. Initially, the consensus pro-war was mobilized in a series of areas in which the people connected with the military. TV displayed direct photographs of soldiers to the public through desert dispatches, which created very sympathetic images of young Americans in harm's way and serving their country. TV news sections on the soldiers' family also offered identifying structures because many soldiers were reservists, unable to abandon their work, and their families who were made sympathetic targets of concern and identification for the civilians who could envisage themselves in a similar situation. There were also daily news reports on television about how church organizations, schools and others took US troops as penitentiaries in Saudi Arabia, thereby tightly linking those at home to soldiers abroad. The drama of war was truly fascinating, with the public plunging into the sight, sound and vocabulary of war. The pictures in the media of high-tech precision targeting, apparently patriots' victory over Scott, Iraq bombing and military armed and soldiers led in many ways to mobilizing favorable sentiment for the US military campaign. Military language has assisted in normalizing fighting, organized propaganda and misinformation efforts, and helped in mobilizing hate against Iraq and Saddam Hussein through negative images and speeches against the Iraqis. Wide and often repeated TV network reports of threat to nuclear weapons, deadly acts of sabotage, rocket attack by Scud, torture of POWs, and environmental violations have helped terrorize Hussein and Iraqis. The delirium resulted in public support for both Bush and Pentagon policies, and any misinformation and propaganda they generated. When people are scared, they help individuals and organizations that pledge to mitigate and protect their fears. The Bush administration and the Pentagon sought to build a picture of strong, fatherly men in charge and capable of coping with the negative danger to the US people. This atmosphere of terror, submission and dramatization of Iraqi evil, masking US lies and murders, and creating optimistic images of Bush and military officials have been intensified by the media. The television has become one of the agenda-setting agents, where it set the agenda for the public's attention to that small group of issues around which public opinions form. Not only do people acquire information about public affairs from the news media, readers and viewers also learn how much importance to attach to a topic based on the emphasis placed on it in the news.